Alright, YouTube, we have quite a bombshell story coming out of both Brazil and Bolivia with regards to the whole Jeanine Anez trial that is taking place over Jeanine Anez's trial with regards to crimes against humanity and genocide and political killings that she committed while she was interim president, when she ignited the coup d'etat against the democratically elected president of Bolivia, Evo Morales, obviously with CIA and U.S. government backing and Zionist backing, and clearly now Bolsonaro backing, apparently. So, there is a story coming out with regards to Jair Bolsonaro's hand in this coup against Evo Morales. And apparently, when she was on trial, in which her trial began in January of this year, it got suspended over COVID or something along those lines. And now the trial didn't officially begin until a few days ago. Now there's evidence coming out that Bolsonaro hints at the fact that he met with Anez on the eve of the first trial in Bolivia. So this means that there is a coup conspiracy that's coming out that links Jeanine Anez and Jair Bolsonaro, and this was reported by an Argentine newspaper, Pagina 12, and according to another newspaper, the River Plate newspaper, saying, quote, "The former president of Bolivia, Jeanine, I was with her once. She is a nice person who is imprisoned," assured the Brazilian president in an apparently involuntary expression, according to the River Plate newspaper. Yes, stay classy. So there hasn't been any news to date about any official meeting between the two, but apparently there have been covert meetings between the two. And it just goes to show that, Jair Bolsonaro clearly had a hand in this coup and is clearly giving her support. And now Brazilian representatives are now asking Bolsonaro to clarify his participation in the Brazilian coup. They're now asking him, what did you have to do with an illegal coup d'etat to prop up a right-wing genocidal maniac to oust a social democratically elected leader in Bolivia? So, what did you have to do with this? So the reporters are basically saying, hey, motherfucker, what did you have to do with this? This clearly has CIA backing all over it, and obviously Jair Bolsonaro being a fucking Donald Trump lackey and a CIA lackey and a right-wing psychopath. So they're asking him, hey, what'd you have to do with this? And then he basically walks it back, being like, no, I had nothing to do with this. Oh, no. Basically going back, I had nothing to do with it. He was the first government in South America to recognize the Anez government, which was the transitional government or the interim government. So this is just lovely. So isn't this just lovely? Isn't this just lovely? We got one genocidal maniac defending another genocidal maniac, both of which are American CIA fucking stooges. Literally fucking stooges of the CIA that have been propped up in Latin America. Because they're on the right wing, so that makes them good, in the eyes of the CIA and in the eyes of our fucking government and whatnot, that still thinks Latin America is our backyard. Isn't this? This is humorous, but at the same time, it's pretty disturbing because Jair Bolsonaro and Jeanine Anez are cut from the same cloth. I mean, they're cut from the far-right, alt-right playbook. They are both genocidal maniacs because Jair Bolsonaro is an environmental assassin who's destroying the Amazon rainforest and is displacing indigenous people in the Amazon rainforest and destroying their lives and destroying their territory, and he's continuing to do that as we speak, and he was doing it with Donald Trump's blessings, and now he's doing it with Vladimir Putin's blessings now, and he's doing it with other far right-wing governments' blessings. And then you got him doing this on the sidelines, in addition to him being an anti-LGBT bigot, an extreme homophobe, and a borderline racist, and also a warmonger. And then Jeanine Anez, who's basically a genocidal maniac who slaughters people she disagrees with. That's basically what she did. This is what she's on trial for. And this genocidal maniac on the sidelines is now defending her and was secretly meeting with her. Secretly meeting with a fucking war criminal during her trial, defending her, acting like she's a nice person. She's a nice person. A person who, excuse me, a person who committed political killings against Evo Morales supporters and more left-leaning supporters is a nice person. You shouldn't expect anything more, anything less from someone as psychopathic as Jair Bolsonaro. And yes, I've covered Jair Bolsonaro on numerous occasions on this channel because he deserves to be exposed for what he is. We need to spread awareness as to who this individual is. This man he's like the Donald Trump of Brazil, but he's more dangerous than Trump. This is what Glenn Greenwald of Brazil has stated, and he's published all sorts of information about Jair Bolsonaro's fascist regime in Brazil. Glenn Greenwald has been on the forefront with regards to this, and he's been uncovering all sorts of information with regards to Jair Bolsonaro's regime. Democracy Now! Has been doing so, and a few other lefty news outlets have been doing so. So, yeah, this is what it comes down to. So, I'm not really surprised that he met with her, because I had a theory that there was some kind of a Brazilian far right-wing conspiracy with regards to this. Because Jair Bolsonaro, being a genocidal maniac, also defending another genocidal maniac. I mean, he defended Trump. He defended Trump during all this, and then Trump defended him during the whole Amazon rainforest destruction, and Bolsonaro was defending Trump when Trump was committing war crimes, including killing the Iranian general. Fuck him for that, by the way. And committing all sorts of war crimes. Bolsonaro defended Trump when Trump committed a war crime against Iran and killed the Iranian general. He defended him on that. So of course, Jair Bolsonaro is going to defend Trump. Trump's going to defend Jair Bolsonaro. Jair Bolsonaro is going to defend Jeanine Anez. And considering the fact that there were also information with regards to Argentina's former president by the name of Mauricio Macri, who was also a CIA puppet. He was also like a neocon. He wasn't as like extreme as of a bigot as like Jeanine Anez or Jair Bolsonaro or Sebastian Pinera in Chile. Wasn't nearly as bad, but he was like a neocon. He was basically like he was just a wishy-washy neocon who puts his foot in his mouth every single time he opens it. That's basically what he is. He's less of a bigot and a warmonger than Jair Bolsonaro is, but still not a great guy. And there was also information that he backed the coup against him. There was also information that came out that I also covered on this channel like a while back, that Mauricio Macri backed the coup against Evo Morales to prop up Jeanine Anez. So that's how bad these people are. Like all these people are just as bad as each other, because you've got Mauricio Macri. Who is unethical and supports coup d'etats. You got him on the sidelines doing all these types of things. You got him doing that, supporting coup d'etats. And he puts his foot in his mouth every time he opens it. He's basically just a diet version of Sebastian Pinera. And then you got Jeanine Anez, who's a genocidal war criminal and a maniac. And then Jair Bolsonaro, who is a racist and a homophobe and a war criminal, and every other bad thing you can imagine. So there's all all these criminal groups that are defending each other and meeting with each other on the sidelines, literally meeting on the sidelines. No, Jair Bolsonaro should be investigated for this. I would seek to investigate him for what he's doing. He should be investigated. This should be calls for his impeachment. Because if you're meeting with a right-wing extremist war criminal, or any kind of war criminal for that matter, whether it's left-wing, right-wing, well, obviously he's not going to meet with any left-wing leader because Jair Bolsonaro is a right-wing extremist and hates the left, much like the right-wing in this country. You know, of course, they're all cut from the same fucking cloth, people. I mean, everybody knows that at this point. They're all cut from the same cloth. Every single one of these fucking pieces of shit are all cut from the same cloth, like literally. So no, Jair Bolsonaro is a bad person. He's a bad leader. He's a shitty leader and a shitty person, and he's propping up a genocidal regime, which isn't really surprising. And I hate to say that I'm surprised, but I'm really not. And it shouldn't surprise anybody because that's how bad he is. Jair Bolsonaro will go so low as to defend a regime that is genocidal. That is literally genocidal, has committed all sorts of human rights violations, war crimes, everything else. Jair Bolsonaro has committed his own human rights violations and whatnot. So he is a very, very bad person. He's much like Alberto Fujimori. He's literally just like him. They're all literally just cut from the same cloth, and it's none. That they're all just not good people. They're all just really, really bad people. So yeah, this is what happens. This is what the right wing does. This is what the right wing does. They will defend one another even when they commit genocides and crimes against humanity, because this is in their nature. This is in right wing leadership's nature. This is what it is. I'm not talking about just traditional right wingers, of course. No, I'm talking about far right extremists and fascist wannabes like Jair Bolsonaro, because Jair Bolsonaro is a fascist. Jeanine Anez is a fascist. They're all fucking fascists. The CIA is known for propping up fascists throughout Latin America and in the Caribbean. And I, as an American, am opposed to by every single stretch of every imagination, and I will continue to call that shit out until I'm blue in the face, because our media will never fucking call this shit out. So therefore, it's going to be me. I'm going to do it. Zach the Celtics guy is going to do it as his patriotic duty to tell his fans, young, old, middle-aged, whatever. I'm going to do it because I want people to know what's going on in the world and what's really going on behind the scenes, because this is what's going on behind the scenes. Jair Bolsonaro being a psychopath, defending another right-wing psychopath on trial for war crimes, crimes against humanity, terrorism, you name it. So, you know what I say? How about lock Jair Bolsonaro up with this fucking bitch? Lock him up. And if the Brazilian government has articles for impeachment, this would be a perfect reason to impeach him. You're giving aid and comfort. There is all sorts of news information about giving aid and comfort to a war criminal when you yourself are a war criminal. That should be calls for impeachment. That should be all sorts of calls for impeachment. And then lock Jair Bolsonaro up for this as well. Giving aid and comfort to genocide and war crimes, because that's what this is. Because that's what it is. You gotta love it, people. You gotta love it. This is what the right wing does. This is what right wing leaders do. This is what right wing leaders do. They commit genocide and war crimes and human rights violations, and then they turn around and kiss each other's asses. But then they turn around and then they call the left wing authoritarian and so on and so forth. Yeah, now I think we all know why Cuba and Venezuela locked these people up. I can see why, because look at what they do. Look at what they do when they have power. So, like I said before, I've said this we've been over this a million times. Cuba and Venezuela lock up right-wing opponents. So, it makes you wonder. It's like, Cuba and Venezuela are kind of onto something here. You see them, they know what the right wing does with their power, so they're trying to prevent the right wing from taking over them. I can understand where they're coming from. I've said that a million times, and I stand by that view. I stand by that view, and I don't care how wacky that sounds, or how goofy that sounds, because you know what? It's the truth. It's the fucking truth. And that's not to defend political persecution of anybody, because I am a free speech absolutist. But the right wing is inherently authoritarian in their own nature. So when these leftist governments see what the right wing is doing with their power, or what they want to do with their power, they're going to see that, then they're going to turn around and they're going to say, oh no, we gotta put these people away. Oh my God, before they try to do these types of things. Like what they did with Alberto Fujimori. Look at what they're doing with her. You know, all these different things. So no. Jeanine Anez is facing decades in prison. She's facing anywhere from 10 to 12 years in prison for what she did. Good riddance. I hope she gets the worst sentence possible. And I hope Jair Bolsonaro is removed from office sooner rather than later, because the future is not looking good for Brazil, especially with news stories like this coming out. So there you have it, folks. A genocidal war criminal defending another genocidal war criminal. Not like we haven't seen that before. We haven't seen this before, and unfortunately, and more than likely isn't going to be the last. And it's definitely not going to be the last. But I will be here to take a stand, and I will be here to call this out at every single turn. And we're going to do it, and I'm going to continue doing it, and I will continue to call this out. I will continue to be on the side. I will continue to be here on the side and call this stuff out, because this shit deserves coverage. And this shit needs fixing. So anyway, that's all I have to say for right now. Thank you all for listening. I'm going to link these articles in the description. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. And it's just crazy. It's literally crazy what the right wing does with their power. But we got to call that shit out and expose them for what they are, because this shit deserves coverage and it deserves exposure, and this shit needs fixing. So anyway, thank you all for listening. I'll see you all again in the next video, stream or premiere, whatever it happens to be. I'll be back with more content. Stay tuned to find out more and more videos on the way. This is Zach the Celtics guy saying thank you for watching. See you all again in the next video. See you all again next time. And let's just hope that Jeanine Anez gets the worst sentence possible for her crimes. And let's just hope that something of a similar nature happens to Jair Bolsonaro sooner rather than later. Justice must be served for these war criminals, because they are common criminals, because that is what they are. Peace out.